All right, welcome back. Now we get to talk about Part D, which is your prescription drug plans. So this is important whether you take prescriptions currently or not. Everyone needs to know how these plans work and what they do and all of that jazz. So let's get into it. So the first thing you need to know about prescription drug plans is that they lower the cost of your prescription drugs. So this can be a huge benefit to people that are taking a lot of prescriptions or even a few prescriptions. It's really nice to know that it's going to be covered at a lower rate. Each plan comes with its own premium and formulary. So what this means is that you're going to pay a different amount for each plan based on what they cover and at what rate they cover the drugs, and that's where the formulary comes in. So each plan determines what drugs they're going to cover, at what amount they're going to cover them, and so it's important to kind of shop around, know what plans cover what and at what rate. That way you can find the plan that's going to fit best for you. Because there's so many options out there, you need to kind of shop around to find the one that is best for you. And just as a side note about what we do, we have special software that we can plug all of your information in, what you take, what dosage, how frequently you take your medications, and then it kind of populates all of that information with the different plans that are available in your area, and then we're able to find a plan that is the best fit for you. So that's just a little side note about how we work with that, but there are plenty of different plans to choose from, so that can be a blessing and a curse. It's great that you have options, but it can be confusing. So if that's something that you are overwhelmed by, then you can let us help you with that. A few things to note about your prescription drug plan. There's something called step therapy. Step therapy is where the insurance companies kind of like to try and keep costs low. So a lot of times they'll ask you to try the generic form of a drug first and see whether or not it will work for you. If it works, great, that's what you'll take. If not, then you can work with your doctor and he'll be able to authorize you to take the brand name drug. So just something to be aware of. It doesn't usually cause problems. You just kind of need to be aware that that's how the system works a lot of times.
Just the process.
There is also a penalty associated with not enrolling in a Part D plan when you become eligible. Now, we will go into depth on the penalties in a future video. That way you can find that information easier. So we're not going to break it down right now, but you do need to know that if you don't enroll in Part D when you first become eligible, you will be penalized. And that penalty will start being applied to you later down the road when you do enroll in a Part D plan. So like I said, we'll break that down a little bit later, but you just need to be aware that exists. We have a lot of clients that don't take any prescriptions and they say, I don't take anything, why do I need this Part D plan? And we recommend enrolling in a Part D plan even if you don't take any prescriptions, mainly for two reasons. The first reason being it protects you if down the road you do start taking prescriptions, you're already covered and you have a way to get your prescriptions at a better rate. And two, it prevents you from getting that penalty. So then 5, 6, 10 years, when you do need to start taking prescriptions, you're not going to have a hefty penalty attached to the plan that you choose down the road.
Yep.
Okay. The last thing that I want to point out about your prescription drug plan is there's a donut hole in Part D plans. You may have heard of that before. You may have heard about it on TV or in conversations or from doctors. So a really brief synopsis of what that is. When you pay a certain amount and your plan pays a certain amount, you reach the threshold, then you enter what's called the donut hole. So this is a space where you're going to be paying more for your prescriptions than what you were before when you were outside of the donut hole. So you'll pay more, and then once you reach the second threshold, you'll be out of the donut hole and your prescriptions will be less expensive at that point. This isn't typically something that people face. It's more for those individuals that are taking a lot of prescriptions or that are taking very specialized, expensive prescriptions. So if you're just taking a few, generic prescriptions here or there, then you don't really need to worry about that. But if you are one of those individuals that are on quite a few or that have really expensive ones, this could apply to you. I would love to explain that more in depth if that is a concern that you have. Otherwise, just be aware that that's how it works when you're looking at your plans, and know what that phrase donut hole actually means in terms of your prescriptions.
Yep.
Anything to add?
That sounds good.
All right. Well, now you have it. That's how prescription drug plans work. They are great. They do so much good for those who need them and use them. So always make sure to shop around and find what's going to be the best fit for you. And then we'll go ahead and invite you to proceed to the next video where we're going to talk about our Medicare Advantage plans.
Thank you.